Dr. Chidi Wanyan. And, and no, no. Yes, you're right. Actually, Machuku is you're right. You're right in a way, but I don't see. No, 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 no. Please, I don't. I didn't. No, no, no. Please, Njenje, Maz is okay. There's a reason why I came here. You see, it took me some time before I joined you. I don't know how to say this. I know this is a public forum, but I didn't believe it before. But now, when I look closely, I came to understand. Somebody told me. They said there's somebody that is stealing my destiny. In this YouTube business, yeah, people low. So they on YouTube is actually you. I didn't know. I didn't know how to tell you, but since no this no you can't be laughing. You can't seriously be laughing because this is a serious something. I'm Mazio Zoko. I'm not because they told me that for some time now. I check. I started seeing that my subscription was coming. I started seeing. Then I try. They now told me that there's something I need to go and do. And after I do it, they will go inside my YouTube. That thing is inside my YouTube. They said that you actually use key to lock my destiny inside my YouTube. They say there's one ring since you started that thing, there's one ring that you now use that you are among of those that used to use it. There's a ring. No, they said the ring is on your page that you used to put it on your page. He said they see exactly because they say when you wear it, people will know. So instead of wearing it on two hands, first of all, you are using one ring with a red thing in the middle. Now you have changed to another white with another white dot in the middle. So look, I came here to expose you because when all these things in there, man, you just think people don't know. You are the person. Now I know what is happening to me in this business. That's that's the reason why when you said that I should come on your show, I saw it as a good opportunity to expose you or my destiny that after today I have destroyed it. Then I will give the man money. He will go inside my YouTube and he will dig out that thing where you lock my destiny inside my YouTube. This I will not listen to you because they told me that the more I listen, that you deny it. They say you would. So it's still part of the prophecy. He said that if I tell you, you will deny it. So the fact that you see, this is the thing. I don't know how you do it. I don't know, but me, I believe that the cause of my misfortune is you and all the agents that you're using. Uh-huh. God, okay. Bam, bam. You see? Hi. Nekena. Do you, do you see where fear Igbo people? You see? Hi. Mazes, okay. So you are like this. Hey. Nekena, God. Hey. And you will just come here and be preaching to people, telling them that what happened to them is not from their village. But you, and the Bible says the one that used to put his hand in the same plate and eat with me, you are the one that caused my failure in governorship election. Hey, AC. No, that one I like that one. Do more of that kind of. That one, that one that made me not to go to APC or PDP. I like that. I like that one. Yes, sir. Yeah. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
I see white people as only people who are healthy. Then you now get into homes. You now come and see what we call a neuro elephantiasis. Come and see people, nurses will come morning, in the evening, they will dress the wound, they will scrape it, they will do this. And I started asking myself, but these are things that also happen to our people back home. These things happen to our people back home, but nobody, sees it that way without saying, oh, maybe these things, this person does it, the other person does it not. It's not what I'm saying now, honestly, because we have to say these things for enlightenment. Before my dad passed away, at some point he became incontinent. Everybody in Nigeria was just talking absolute rubbish. I know that time I used to get the adult pampers from Germany, just get them from Germany down to Nigeria in order. And when I come home, I look at his toes. Sorry, but his toes. The nails are not done. So everything's so haggard. Not so when he said that we do not take care of our own, and I became passionate about it then because I have been able to. The mind has been exposed, and I began to have a different relationship with my father at his last moment. At that point, he had incontinence. At that point, he had mild dementia. That even the grandchildren will come. He will look at one of them and say, "Who are you? Where are you coming from?"
Wow.
So, but somehow I was the only person that had a key to him. Because these things, you first of all call him back, get back to where, there are things, stories he used to tell us as children. When you get him there, and he began to laugh. I can't forget one thing he said, and if my sisters and my siblings are watching, they will know this story. I bought a not pig milk. I mean, you have them in Canada as well.
No,
Condensed milk,
no.
condensed milk. The
Yeah,
normal daily, not
yeah,
18 one, and it's written condensed milk. So after reading his Bible, he took the milk and he was looking at it, looked at it, looked at it. I had my camera because I captured every moment and I still have the DVDs. And he looked at it. He said, condemn milk. I'm like, I kept quiet. You know what he said to me? So why did you go tell him condemn milk? So why did you buy condemn milk for me? But in that moment, you can see that it becomes a different thing. So what I'm trying to say, people, and my brother Chidi, I don't know your perspective, but I see things. These things hurt me, and also even a hurt genuine believers, not business, you know,
yeah.
not what's that called, money back believers, so to say, but genuine believers, and they see this thing is it's not adding up. I don't know, Chidi, what do you have to say?
Um, Concerning the topic that you're talking about, right? People believing that what is happening to them is coming from the village, right?
Mm,
Yeah. There are certain things that I do or say, and the first thing people will say is they'll attack me. They'll start saying, "Chidi, I thought you said you're a pastor." You know, I remember we're having a meeting at the weekend, and there's something I did, and somebody said, "Chidi, but you say you're a pastor." And I asked him, how many pastors have you seen on the street doing aluta and leaving their
just
beard?
one.
you know, that I am my own unique kind of pastor. And my kind of pastor is not your regular kind of pastor. My conversion and my relationship with God is is not it is not something that is for public play to get your approval. I don't need you
Exactly.
to come and tell me. I know it. I feel it. I felt it. I experienced it. So I don't need for you to come and approve of it or validate it. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it's not just it's just a problem with our people. Because it's even worse now in church. That's why I started the program with the way I started it once I came in. Because immediately you said, "Can I join?" I started thinking about it. What happens back home? Now in church, people are more fetish than even in the traditional religion. Because in our traditional religion, we didn't even have as much list of things that people wrestle with and fight with as we have it right now in church. When you come to demons, oh my goodness, there's demon in the air, there's demon in the land, there's demon in the tree, there's demon in your office, there's demon under your bed, there's demon in everywhere. There's demon. Before you pray, there's demon in the water. There's when you enter car, there's demon in the tire. You cover the tire with the blood because they said so. If you don't pray, come on now. There's demon in the tire. There's witch in the steering. There's somebody. It's too much. It is just too
Don't you
much.
think that lack of electricity creates demon when there is darkness everywhere? Maybe it creates demon. No, seriously, it creates.
No, I don't believe that. Let me tell you why I don't believe that. See, my mother will always say, "Onye agbala agba uche ojelebe, onye aghogbu uche ojelebe." That's the person that they beat, the person that they sometimes I don't know how to transcribe people into English, but you're playing games with your friends and they're always winning you. Say, where did your own sense
Where's your
go?
mind? Where's your
Where
mind?
is
Yeah.
your own? Where's your mind? Where's your sense? Because if you talk about light in the olden days, we didn't even have electricity. What we had was momonwa, the one that they did out of palm front. When it was night,
We call it a dairy.
good. When it was night. And you walked in the day and you rested in the night. So it's not a matter of darkness. It's just that our people have come to embrace ignorance so much. The same way they said embrace wisdom. They have come to make wisdom their very, very good friend. And that it's really, really very disturbing to me. People will, and it has wrecked families. I know of a guy who
True.
left Canada, went home to bury his father, and by the time he came back here, now we have a problem in our community. Why? Because somebody told him that his friend that is here with him in Canada is the one that caused them to either he says is the one that killed his father or is the one that caused them to kill his father. See, I don't know the level of ignorance that our people have. My mother died when when I just finished my first degree, but there were about three different sets of people that came to tell me who killed my mother. I'm telling you the truth. From our closest relations to, in fact, when my father died, and I was here in Toronto. How many years ago? 4, 5 years ago. My father died. You know what happened? A pastor called me in Nigeria and was giving me a prophecy. And when he finished, he asked me how I was going to come into Nigeria. He said, before I answer, have I bought my ticket? I said, no. He said, I must make sure that I buy ticket to land in Lagos so that he will give me the final prophecy before I go to the village. I was like, what does this guy think? Does he think he's talking to a fool so that I will branch and he will make sure that he collects the abroad thing before I go to see Enugu people? You understand? And if I had listened, he gave me Psalm. He told me that when I go to the village, he told me things that will happen in the village. Then he now told me that he knew what happened to my dad. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I would say it is ignorance that our people have embraced. That is what is causing the problem. It is just self-afflicted ignorance. It wasn't there before, but we have refused to listen. We have refused to listen to reason. We have refused to hear anybody, what anybody is saying.
But it's hurting us. Now we have a generation of older people in the village.
Mhm,
Like when I explain to people the reason why when they talk about COVID, the reason why COVID didn't actually hit us is because our elderly people are already in isolation.
mhm,
Imagine
mhm,
every one of them, you can imagine the houses we built in the village, that's where they live. So they're already isolating, right?
mhm, mhm,
So imagine those people in those vulnerable states. They need our love the most. But somebody comes in. If your brain is not screwed up enough to maybe kill them, to use them for money ritual, the wicked pastors will tell you that your mom, imagine Chidi, you're a dad, imagine your wife now. Sometimes when I say this and I say people use us as an example. Imagine now you are, somebody will come and tell you, you,
mhm.
your lovely daughter or your lovely son that I know you used your son to do. I mean, there are things that sometimes it, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but with the rate with which we say these things with ease is bothering. So our parents in the village are also my greatest fear now is the level of things happening. If we do not do anything quick and urgent, we will begin to see where this generation will be attacking anyone that is over 70 as the reason why they're not progressing.
But it's already happening. It is already. You are in the media.
No, it will probably it will get out of hand.
No,
It's happening, but that's why we are talking about it so that how do we begin to do corrective measures now before it gets out of hand?
my brother. I think we are actually late. We are late. I'm sure you get those videos where you see women, elderly women and men being beaten up. There are some horrible ones where they were beaten up and they were burnt,
Mm,
that they are witches. It happens now. You see people that they went and there was this story where some people went and killed their mother. That listen, oh, young men, you remember that? I think it was in Lagos. They went and killed
mm,
their mother. That they told them that it was their mother that made them not to get visa. Every time they apply for visa, the visa will not work. So it's their mother that was tying their destiny. Do you know how many times?
imagine.
Do you know how many times they've called me and said, "Eh, Ted, if I scam org, enwe player si me, megum the first player. Eh, play more player and game. But don't worry, more I get good if the name ya, me get the player." And I was like, "Don't do any player for me. Don't don't do any player for me. You're there. I'm eating better than you. You're going to fast 2 3 weeks for me to impress me." I think if you get ulcer, I know somebody who got ulcer because they were fasting. You are in Nigeria. You're fasting for me that is in Canada. Come on now. Come on now. Do you know, in Nigeria, I used to do 30, 40 days fasting. With all the church that I have done here, I've never seen anybody here do fast. The only time people that do fast now women who want to slim. But no matter how jim the church is here, they don't do fasting.
No, I think fasting, like personally, me, I do almost on a daily basis.
No, no, that
Almost on a
that
daily
that
basis.
I
You understand?
I'm saying it generally. Look,
Mm,
look,
yeah,
look. There are exceptions to the rule. What I'm trying to say that in Nigeria, our reasons for doing things are always very, very wrong. When I was in
very, very,
Nigeria,
very.
I used to do, like, I don't know why I'm attacking the churches now. In Nigeria, in our church, we will do 40 days fasting, January, prayer and fasting. We will do it, and it's every day. We'll break it in church. Oh. We
So,
come, we break it in church. It's only because people don't work in Nigeria.
Chidi, does it mean you are falling out of faith? Do you
I'm
still organize
backsliding now.
crusade, 40 days,
I'm,
40 days, crusade?
oh, me? Oh, a lot of
Mm.
people already assume that I'm backsliding. That's not the story. You don't know. They are praying for me. Some people are fasting and praying on my behalf. They say I'm backsliding. I had a visitor who visited me from Nigeria. He went to our church and he came back and said, Chidi, I can't believe you're in this church. I said, why? He said, because the church is not hot. I said, why? He said, I saw the way you were praying, the way people were dancing. Because when the church finished, people will come to the pastor. Pastor doesn't have security and all that. We just say, hi, pastor, how you doing? Pastor say, I'm fine. Some people will just say, hey, hi, Ben. You hear people say, hi, Ben. Imagine in Nigeria, you come and tell your pastor, hi, Ben, or hi, Jack. So, and when we were singing, we sang, and the prayer was okay. Lord, we just thank you
Police will
for
come
everything.
now if the music gets out of hand. Is it here in Nigeria that people will put speakers? There's an incident that that happened to me last 2 years. I took a woman that had this. There was a medical condition. She
Mm,
became unconscious, so
sure.
we rushed her to Newi. There, we got to Newi. There was no, the nurse said we should go to the second floor. Luckily, the woman is not of the heavy type, but I was able to carry her to my shoulders,
Wow.
and took her up, lay her on the bed. Now, while I'm waiting for the doctor to come, and doctor came, they inserted drip, but sitting down there, I was angry. I then realized that the music coming from the other house was what was making me angry. Because the thing was so loud, and I'm kind of imagining me that is healthy is listening to this music and it's disturbing me this way. What of all the patients in this place? And I called the doctor and I said, Doctor, is it possible to tell these people to lower it? And the doctor, first of all, looked at me abnormal, as if, where does this one come from? Honestly, it's just a total
I
mess.
beg, wait, my brother. Wait. Man says you went to Nigeria, you're sitting now in hospital, and you're saying they should go and tell somebody to turn. Nah, but even you self. Let me tell you what happened to me. You just
No, 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 no,
wait,
my
wait,
brother,
wait.
my
That
brother. This is a hospital. If you know the level of
man
noise
says okay.
shouting coming out from those
Man says
speakers, it
okay.
needs to be turned down.
So listen to you now. You're just behaving like me. That's why I'm laughing at you. I was in Port Harcourt. I went to do a job with my wife in Port Harcourt a couple of years ago when Amechi was still the governor. So my driver was the company driver was driving, and all of a sudden we saw a commotion just by the road, a couple of stores very close to the road. And there was this man bleeding. That's this guy. You know how when somebody's bleeding and they fall to the ground and then the sand touches the blood. So he was all messed up. And this guy will go like this and he will fall down. And they were pushing him. So I told the driver to stop. He stopped and I jumped out of the vehicle. Immediately I jumped out of the vehicle, I ran to the people and I was saying, Come, what are you doing? Stop. Let the man that was pushing I was trying to hold the man. The man said, Stop that thing. It's a one in my shop. It's a one. He said they were pushed, each of them was pushing the man away so that the man doesn't die. The fight amongst them is who will he die in front of their shop. Man, it freaked me out. I was like, are you kidding me? So you know what I now did? I now started saying, somebody get an ambulance, somebody call an ambulance, somebody let that's why when you said your own. So what I said, and I told my brother, call an ambulance, let's get an ambulance for him. So when there was one of the engineers, when we came back to the car, because I don't even know what happened, but I just had to leave. The guy was like, Jade, now what for you? Now what for this Canada where you go don't change you. You are calling ambulance. Have you ever seen where ambulance is carrying some? Is it not dead people that ambulance used to carry? It made sense. He says anytime you see an ambulance and the siren is on, is dead people. They are carrying a dead body from the mortuary to where they bury the person. That's
Where
what
where
ambulance
do
is for.
we where do we even start in fixing this whole broken thing? Because what you've just touched on, has moved the convo now. When you look at people in Nigeria, you see an ambulance, you see a fire truck, blaring siren, nobody reacts.
Yes.
But you only see governors, banks, dead people, dead bodies being conveyed.
Yes.
These are things in the past. So when someone ought to, you hear the sound of ambulance, you move away because you don't know if it's your mom, if it's my dad, if it's anyone related to us. Common sense should tell you, you clear, this life is a life that I have to put my own, my own today to see if I can save another life. Somehow we're not even thinking in that direction.
See,
Anyway, people are congratulating you, saying you have cleared the Osama bin Laden bed. What happened?
my brother, see,
I was when I see the beard, I was thinking, I think he has stopped eating draw soup.
No. We're changing. In a battle, you have to change your strategy. So now we're changing our strategy. We're entering a mode where we are not predictable. That's where we're going into another mode where, because the other one, once they see me, just know it's him. They know the language. The body language was there. So now we are changing to something that nobody will recognize. Unpredictable. That's just what it is. Nothing else happened.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Again, it's the sad reality. These things, like I said, there is this video by Dr. Okoye. I don't know if you know Dr. Okoye. The guy is
I know him.
normally,
he did.
He's
normally. Isn't the one that did a video where he was talking about?
Yes. So this one, he talks about swollen legs. So this is part of the reason I wanted to make this. Now, I sent it, the moment I got this video, I sent it to a couple of my friends that we have had arguments before about enyure and elephantiasis. And I have seen these things equally. These things, certain age, it can happen to us.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, if you fly for a very long time on economy without stretching your leg, you come down, your leg are swollen. I don't know whether village people followed you into flight to make your leg also to swell. I don't know. So that means the village people must be flying. That must be Edo people that have landing pads at every back of the house.
They're looking for trouble from Edo people. Though. I don't know.
No, they are my good friends. They are the Middle Belt Republic. No, sorry, the Midwest Republic. Pardon me.
Yes. You see, this thing you're talking about now. Remember, I've come. See, you know me. I'm a village boy to the core, and a lot of people don't even know it. They say, this guy, you're a boy. But I've sat down sometimes and I've traced back in time a lot of the things that you heard growing up. You know, just people, you know, um, reasoning at their own level. See, we must understand that things move. There's advancement. Some people think that we must go back to what our forefathers did. No. At that time that our forefathers were doing it all over the world, people were doing things at that level. Now everybody has
Exactly.
moved, and there are advancements even in medicine. So you cannot just keep using twin stick and say that it's only when you choose with twin stick that your teeth will be clean. No, there have been advancements in technology. So those days, people died of stroke, and people used to say, "Nande more." I can only speak it in my language.
No. They say na Koreotolokala. That is, he was struck with half this thing.
Is that what people used to say?
They say they jazzed him now.
And
some people say the Niger Delta said they don't Bluetooth uncle. They Bluetooth him.
People used to say, "Nande machilewu." Yes. And ndị machiri ewu ọba ebu ka anyị ndị asị mana abụ m onye wawa.
Iwe onye wawa nwa Nsụka.
Anyway, so they would say, you see, the person was just taking a walk in the afternoon, but you realize that this person was taking a walk with the heat. It could be a heat stroke, it could be heat stroke, but the person had a heart attack and they died. And they would just say that it was somebody that went somewhere and got medicine. And I used to say, if it was if it was possible to kill people the way our people believe, how come they cannot stay in my village and kill me here in Canada? I used to say it.
You're
How,
going too far. You're going too far. There are people invading your villages now,
uh,
and everybody's shouting they are invading. Why don't you just stay in your village and leave those things? Let them
just,
march on it, and the story is finished.
I'm going to tell
Yeah?
you something. I'm going to tell you something that a lot of our listeners will hate me for. When uh, Odumeje, Odumeje is my man. Oh.
No, Oduheje, not
Odu-
me. Oduheje.
Oduheje. You see,
Mm.
when Oduheje started, people forgot. Remember, there was a video where he went to dig something. They say it's key in somebody's house, and he was digging, and he dropped something inside. That video circulated. People forget so soon that that was Odumeje in his early days of doing this thing.
Do
Until
you still
now,
have the video?
I'm going to look for the video. I'm going to find
Please
that
do.
video.
I can't remember. The one I saw is the one that have something like carved tortoise on his leg, and he poured water. So when he was about taking off his leg, so that for that thing to fall in,
Hmm.
one of the ones in the family that is known as a rascal, he was
Eh,
telling them that this man is wayo.
yes,
Eventually, he was the one. He was the one without spiritual eye that saw the spiritual things.
but there are so many of them like that. But this particular one
Mm,
was Udumeje himself that was involved in that thing. So
mm.
it's just like when people, I know in your program, you don't focus on people. But when I did the thing about TB Joshua, a lot of people even attacked me again. See, like when we did on Justice Suleiman, God has given us brain. And that's another thing I want to say, Mazi, is okay. I don't understand why our people deliberately fight. We fight God.
Hmm.
God in His
No,
infinite.
no. We'll fight for him. I
Oh,
think
okay.
we'll fight for God.
But God gives you wisdom, opens your
Mm.
eyes, reveals things to you. But you fight it and you say, "Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm, I don't think so." Mm-mm. Then you just go and you listen to what another person is telling you. Somebody who can't even help themselves. Why? And God has blessed you with so much wisdom. God has revealed things to you. You see this common sense. You know what I tell people? I tell people, why don't you think twice when you bring food to your mouth? Why do you just get the food and put it in your mouth? Why don't you just say, "Should it be my nose or my eye?" Wow! That same God, that same brain that makes you just put food in your mouth, it is that same brain that makes you, when you see something, it's telling you the simple truth about that thing. But when it gets to that point, you begin to argue with your brain. But you don't argue with your brain when you're about to cross the road and there's a trailer coming. Why don't you stand in the middle of the road and say,
Yeah, but
tell me.
people have been so whacked with their brains and thinking to a point that I think there was a video that made round where fire
Hmm,
was raging in a
hmm,
church,
hmm.
and people were sitting down
Yes,
casting,
yes,
you know,
I remember.
casting. Roba, raba, raba, raba,
Yes,
yamaha,
it
saka,
was
saka.
even
And I'm like,
Imo State, when Imo
airport.
Airport was burning. That
Yeah.
video, the woman was there praying for God to stop the fire.
And I'm like, where's the fire service?
But where?
Just like when I narrow it down to the topic again, it means
Okay.
so people, the whole thing is we're not here to bash anyone. What we are saying is we must begin to take responsibility. We must begin to open our minds that these things, especially the things which were ascribed to people in the village, listen, they do not have 98% of the powers we give them. The people, let me just for 2% sake that yes, these things may happen, but they do not have, your uncles do not have powers that you ascribe to them. I know a friend telling me that his problem started when he started the foundation of his house. And you look at the blocks, everything is black. And I'm like, I asked him, can we get deeper into private things? It took him a while, but he now confessed to me because I said, okay, when you started this building, what was your capital? Then, about 15 years ago, he said his capital then was about 1.83 million. I said, how much did you put into the house? He said he brought out about 500,000. I said, then haven't you seen where the problem is?
Hmm.
At the point you started that building, you weren't ready. Chidi, you are in Canada today. If you go buy a house,
Mhm.
there is a reason why the mortgage advisor and the lending company will do stress analysis on your
Of
finances.
course.
So let's say you earn $2,000 and your house will be $1,500. No company will give you mortgage because the stress analysis means after paying the
Will
$1,500,
you be able to eat?
whatever remaining for you will not be enough for you to live as a human being in 1 month.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
And
But
then
because we don't do this,
exactly. And because the government is responsible, the government does not want you to go because when you do it, it's the government that will come and carry your wahala. So they will not let you do it. Because the next thing is you will be on welfare and the government will have to come and be. So they won't even let you do that in the first place at all.
so Chidi, some people say they have questions for you.
Go ahead.
And I think if you can type in, I think that's Nordic Coin Media. If you can type out the question now, Chidi obviously will read it. I don't want to open the telephone line because that would be the conversation. The whole thing will be flooded.
No,
So if you can,
I see what somebody actually says, Dr. Chidi, you should stop this your personal
nah,
hatred with
it's.
men of God. I
But you're a
don't
man of God now. Are you a man of Satan?
do, do I hate myself? I'm also a man of
Exactly.
God
So
now.
that's a no-brainer.
I know.
That's
I
a
mean,
no-brainer.
it's not even
So, but at
something
the
we
end
want
of
to
the
go into.
day,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think when I look at these things, and you can imagine where I think we need to start walking away. And again, in recent time, in the last 2 months, I've had people talk about stories of audition, especially within the recent, 3 months where the insecurity in the southeast was of the increase. And I laugh. I say, in private, people drop that nonsense. Because what is she now? When she now, you got feel no sugar. Sadly, if I'm
You,
a prophet, I'll be making some money by now.
yeah, you know what happened?
It's a sad one.
Let me tell you what happened, brother. It's just um it's just these are all short falls or fallout from the failed system. And people like me, the people who are pro Nigerian government, they always hate me because they say, Chidi, why must you coil everything back to Nigerian government? I'll tell them because that's the way I see it. You see, because the system failed. I saw the president of Rwanda. He tweeted a statement where he said he has closed down about 600 churches and mosques. And he has now said that for you to run a church, to operate a church, you must have some training. I think he said whether HND or something in in theology or so. There's something he wants you to do it professional. That people should stop making money and reaping their citizens, and it means the church and the mosque. Okay, what has happened is that a corrupt system has allowed fake prophets, fake native men. You know, when we started seeing people who were going to offer ram for people abroad, you send money, they'll line up and they'll kill your ram for you. You know where that one was raining? See, because the government, until Anambra State government woke up one day and stopped it. Why did they wait that long? And when they stopped it, the same the same guy who was who was shouting on Facebook. I was laughing when the same person said, if I na-eme kwana block one nice na if I na-eme bụ aja ka anyị na-achụ onwela mgbe anyị si na hey! I was like, really? The power of government getting to you. So what am I trying to say? When
But
the
he didn't actually stop because I've been monitoring him on his on the Facebook
how will they
page.
stop?
He's
They,
actually it's
it's popular. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You think it will happen here? No, because the government, it's not working. So people like that are meant to roam around free. This, when you hear that the primary responsibility of the government is security of the citizens, people think it's only when you have police and army carrying gun. No, it's, you are supposed to secure your citizenry in all ramifications. They are your own. You're supposed to shield them from anything that endangers their livelihood, including fake pastors, fake native doctors. For people who say Chidi, stop being, no, it's not just pastors that are doing it. Native doctors are doing it. Some 419 people are, all of these people who the government could not shield the citizenry from, and these people have now broken the head and gotten into the people. What I mean, what can I say? And somebody will say, no, don't blame the government. The reason why people have a government is because they take some things and they hand it over to the government. But then when the government fails, it falls back to the people to try to do the best they can to make the best out of a good situation. And where they should start from first, the first people you should go after is that person that if the government was not there before, we all would have had our personal security. Everybody is a local government in Nigeria because
oh sure.
you are a water works, you are NEPA with your generator, you are you are everything by yourself. Everybody is just one local government. Have you imagined, Mazes, okay, that in some streets, the amount of energy that is generated in one small street in a place like
If
maybe
you
Abuja or
aggregate
Lagos.
them, if
What are
you
you saying?
aggregate them,
What are you saying? That is enough to power a state. Some people, a street in Nigeria, it may be Lekki or Abuja, they all have how many KVA generator? If you put all that
you know,
generators together, it can
you,
power a
you know,
state.
you know, you know one thing. Looking at what you're saying,
Sorry, let me finish this so that we will now continue. So the point I'm trying to make is that the people should have gone back to this government who promised them that, you know what, don't worry, you don't need to worry, just give us the responsibility. And we all went and relaxed and we gave them that responsibility. When we now saw that they have failed in their responsibility and left us the way we are, the people we should go after first is those government people, starting from councillor to local government chairman to governor to president. That's that's
but
what
hold
I'm
on,
thinking.
Chidi,
Yeah.
how are you going to get there
How?
if
Okay.
pres- if presidents, governors, local government chairman, local councillors are victims of the same people as well? How are you going to do that? Remember, there were countries that were under the spell of TV Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Their presidency,
Mm-hmm.
of a nation
Mm-hmm.
was under his control.
Mm-hmm.
He listens to him than his parliament. He listens to him than his economic advisor. So how do you, people make joke and say there are two people you cannot advise: a woman in love. The other one I don't want to say. But again,
It's
I
like,
don't want to get into problem.
okay,
Mm.
don't worry. It's like the
Mm.
fly that is perching in the
On the
junction.
scotro, on the brocos, you hit it, the thing would break. If you leave it, you're on your own. Hmm?
Anyway, uh, sorry, I lost my line of thought. You were talking about
No, no, no. The question I asked you, you're saying that government ought to protect the people,
yes,
right? And I'm
yes.
saying, how can government protect the people if those in government are being controlled by the same people?
So that's why people are busy seeing this. They trivialize these things that we say. They trivialize these things that they think we're just talking about. Okay, when I preach to people about sin and devil, I used to tell them that. You don't understand the devil. You think the devil is one because you saw the picture of one guy, black, carrying this thing with horn. And that's not how the devil is. That you joke with the devil. When the devil gives you, when the devil tells you to go sleep with a prostitute without condom, you just say, "Ha! This guy wants me to catch gonorrhea." No, he doesn't want you to catch gonorrhea. He wants to kill you. He wants you to catch AIDS or something and die. When the devil tells you to accelerate more now after you're drunk, as you say, this devil just wants police to catch me.
No, no, no,
No,
no, no, no.
no, no.
Chidi,
I'm coming now.
that's not devil.
I'm,
That's common sense.
I'm coming now.
That's
Okay,
common
okay,
sense.
okay. But the point I'm trying to make is that whether it is that thing that is deceiving you, telling you to push the car when you're drunk, you think it's accident. No, no, that thing wants to kill you. It is the ultimate thing is for you to die. Okay, so people don't understand that when we are talking like this, they think we have a problem with the pastor. No, we don't have a problem with the pastor. We
It's
have
not
a
about pastor.
we have a
It is about even those
it,
in authority,
it is
even the DBS,
the
even
snowball effect is so humongous. That's why we are where we are. Because the people that go and consult these people in the night, you don't even know. You don't know the kind of influence that these people have. These people
mm,
wield a lot of influence. It's not just me and you. Me and you are not even. Imagine now when presidents of countries. Imagine that person's activity is affecting and influencing the whole country. You think it's a small thing?
yeah,
It's not a small
because
thing.
there might be like, there might be like a a crisis in some regions and people die.
Of
What should
course,
be normally have happened would be that the president goes there, sees his people, sees his citizens, and say, okay, we are, it's a sad thing that this happened.
give me
But
one
rather
second.
than
Give me
do
one
that,
second.
imagine he gets a call.
Give me
He
one
gets a
second to
call
put
from
on my
his
light.
pastor.
Okay,
Sorry?
go ahead. Give me one second to put on my light. Go ahead.
There is NEPA in Canada too. I never knew that. See?
They
So
just bring light. They just bring light.
people watching. Chid is in Canada, blasting us here in Nigeria, and NEPA took light in Canada.
Whenever I call people, people will say, "Why am I hearing our people today?" When I call,
Osibanjo must,
wait now,
Chid Osibanjo must hear this.
when I wait now, let me tell you something. When I when I'm talking with some people, they will say, "Hmm, I don't know. I think it's your own network." I say, "Yes, it's my network. NEPA took light. Sorry." Then they'll say, "No, why are you talking like that?" I say, "So what do you expect me to say?"
Don't worry, everybody, when Chidi comes back and turns his light off, type up NEPA for him so that will cheer him up.
that's not that's not what happened. I
Now, of
was
course, now
no, 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 no.
you're showing us a
You know,
worship media movie.
you 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 told me to come on when I wasn't ready, so I just hurriedly came on, and I was using the light from my window. So now that it's
Oh, okay.
getting dark, I have to go and put on
It's
my
getting
light.
dark already. I thought it should be
This
around
is
4.
this is 5:20. No, it's not getting dark. I just want a better
Oh,
light.
okay.
I just want a
Oh,
better
okay.
light. There's not much
You see,
difference.
so up NEPA, everybody, up NEPA for Chidi, up NEPA, comment section, up NEPA. Chidi, they
Ah!
are telling you to go and buy prepared meter.
You know the funny thing, eh? You know the funny thing.
Mm,
My God! And when we talk like this, people think it's just a cliche or what? No, no, we're not. We're just telling you what makes us, what scatters our head. That's the reason why we
mhm.
talk about this place. Not like we are comparing onions and apples. See, there is nobody that comes to read meter here. There's nobody that comes to read the water. There's nobody that everything is transmitted straight. Let me tell you something.
And that's why,
You know,
Chidi, there is one thing there is one thing I keep telling people. When I hear people talk about, oh, these people in Canada, in London, they are suffering this, I just say,
like,
hmm, is it
suffering,
really?
suffering.
What Nigerians call suffering is people who are made to pay their bills, people who are not living off freebies.
Hmm.
But your place, you're living off freebies, it's not working. It's not working. You don't have roads.
Uh-huh.
You don't have roads. That's why it's not working. You don't have tap
Exactly.
on water. Look at the whole 36 state of Nigeria. No state, not a single one has tap-borne water.
I'm
Eh?
telling you. You know, those were that was um one of my main points upon which I campaigned when I was campaigning for governorship.
Okay,
I,
now you are come to politics. I think there is a question waiting for you. I wanted to ignore that question because
go
this
ahead,
is
go
not a
ahead,
political
go
discussion.
ahead, go
But
ahead.
now, since you're talking about politics now, somebody here, but that's going to be an
What
exception. People in the comment section, that's an exception.
okay,
Any question that you have to ask has to be in line with the topic we're
topic.
discussing, please.
Yes, yes.
It says here, that's Nordicoin Media says, please, can you ask Chidi who was, or let me bring the question up actually,
Okay.
so you can, he said, Chidi, can you ask Chidi who was the chairman of AAC before and after the election of 2019? And what position was held by Leonard? I don't know who is Leonard. I'm not a politician. Chidi,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
once,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so you can go ahead quick.
Yeah, you know, like you said, I'd rather we focus on the issue on why we came here. But I'll just maybe because the person saw me on your program. Yes, what happened was um Omoyele Shore founded not even AAC. We never maybe let me just give that secret here in your program, maybe for the first time for some people. We never planned to have a political party. It was not in the plan at all. We were doing activism of Take It Back movement that started in the diaspora. We're take it back. No, we have to. Nigerians need to take it back. Then people, just like in your show like this, they started yapping us. You people that are in the diaspora, you always talk, talk, talk. If you're serious, come to Nigeria and follow and put your foot on the ground. So we now say this true. Let's find a political party and field Omoyele Sowore as presidential candidate. Then we went round and round and round. To cut the story short, just a few months to the deadline for registration of political parties, we now had to push to register a political party because all the parties that we went to, including Atujide, Atujide was the biggest 419, but that's a story for another day. She will wear this house or something. I didn't know she was a stooge for Atiku. The Lord
So
chose
sorry, who is the Atuji there? I think I'm a
Atujide,
novice
that
in
female
this.
presidential candidate now. That female
Ah,
presidential
okay,
candidate
okay.
yes. So she was she said that she can give a party for Shore to run. When we now looked and we saw that all the political parties, none of their ideology could work with what we were doing, we now said, gentlemen and ladies, we have to register a political party. So we were in the diaspora. Leonard was in Nigeria. So we now used Leonard as the contact person to go to INEC and process the papers and all that with a lawyer. So in doing that, Leonard was the one that knew INEC people, formed a bond with them. And when the party was registered, we didn't know that Leonard's eye was on the party, just like what happened with APGA. So when we did a convention, Leonard had gathered a lot of people that he was going to be the chairman of the party. And you know what happens whenever you come to Nigeria, every politician, okay, you know what I learned? All of them will come to you and say, Chidi, whatever you do, make sure that you hold the chairman. Make sure that you hold the chairman is the most important. I didn't understand now. We came as act- To cut the long story short, Leonard ganged up with people when Shore was locked up in prison. The same day that Shore flew out of Nigeria, they went and did one mock with the convention, and of course he went to the government and offered himself like Judas that I can do this job. So they used him to do the hatchet job on AAC. They did a convention. Said they
Was
had
it
sacked
was he
Shore.
paid was he paid money to do that job?
He was paid a lot of money now, starting from Wiki. He was paid a lot of money. Yeah, the story is
Starting from
out there.
Wiko Abiamechi. Hold on.
No, no,
I thought
no,
he
no, no, no,
APC
no,
used
no,
him.
no, no. You see,
I
that's
thought
why I say
Amechi used him.
no. Amechi didn't use him. Amechi never used him. Amechi
But
used a
Amechi
governorship.
was the one that had AAC
No,
in
so let me
Rivers,
let
not
me tell you what
Milton.
happened now. Amechi used the governorship candidate of AAC then,
Okay.
and because we were governorship candidates, so we had a forum where we talk. And he used to come
Mm.
and say, "Look, oh, look at what is being offered him. Or what should you do? What should you not do?" So at a point, we told him like, "This is what we think. Oh, you can't trust these people, but it is your life. It's your thing. Whatever you decide, you have to live by it." So Amechi used that one to fight Wike. Now, when you saw that because of technicalities, that Wike was actually going to lose that election in the court, Leonard now ran to Wike and said, "I can do the hatchet job for you. You can use me." So Wike now pumped a lot of money to Leonard. You would, if you, that's a story for another, a lot of money. And then what Leonard did was, when they now said that Moele Shore was no longer the chairman of the party. When he traveled abroad, they went to court and got a court injunction, and the judge was asking him to come to court and answer for it. So when they succeeded in doing that, and Leonard was the chairman, Leonard now changed the lawyer of AAC
Mm.
governorship candidate against Wike, told him that he cannot, that this was a case of the party with Wike. So Leonard now got a lawyer who was paid by Wike to stand for the governorship candidate of AAC. So while the guy was busy fighting that, no, you cannot give me, it will not be you that will give me the lawyer. They went to court and did the whole mago, and then a purported chairman of the River State now came and now said that, no, they now yield, that they're no longer going to court, that actually Wike won the election. It was just a sham. It's just a crazy. I learned a lot of lessons with Nigeria. You see, Nigeria politics, eh? Nah, man, that thing get us to be.
Anyway, no wonder Sowore keeps shouting revolution now, because
Yeah,
without
because
revolution,
yeah, when we saw what was happening, we just saw that there's my brother. You see that system? That system. Even if I was telling somebody the other day. I say, you know what? I thank God that by any means, so I didn't win that election, because under this system, even if you're the whitest of the whitest saints, I don't know how you're going to operate in that. You, and the man says, okay, point one politician, point one governor now that you can say is being so well under that system. Point
well, in
one
Nigerian
leader.
context, no,
Yeah.
no, in Nigerian context.
Mm.
So, because you have to put it under
Yeah.
context
Well.
here. In Nigerian,
Yeah.
is that's the thing. We don't we
Our
let's
standard
not
is just,
drag
yeah.
ourselves in.
Let's not bother ourselves. You see now,
Honestly.
we have forgotten the people that we came to talk. All these people that are
No,
saying
no, no, no,
this.
no. We can no, no, no. We cannot forget. We are coming back to. I'm going to, before we round up, Chid, and thank you for standing here. One man meant to the moon or more.
No, no,
If you
no.
want,
One man went to Mo is there. Don't mind him. He knows what he's doing. He's always coming to my channel. Every time you see him, just be careful. I don't know. It's just
no. So he says he wants him to bring Sore for him. I said, Sore reads tweets now. Go to Twitter or this,
come on now.
So,
Oh, I beg.
and let me say this again. People, many a times, don't think, I think the easiest way to get people, just go to their either Twitter or their email, especially. You
Yeah.
understand?
Ah,
If you want to get me, I've shared my emails here many times. Many people I get people's email and I respond.
yeah.
So if you
Even
want to
your
if you
Twitter
want to
handle.
reach me, exactly, use a Twitter handle, or like myself, you can see here in the lower banner, that's at Mazes, okay, or on Ginger Media. It's again in Ginger Media. If it's something addressed to me, sometimes the staffs can forward it to me now, saying, Mazi, this is an email that came for you. So it's that simple. It's not something special, okay? So having said that, Chidi, I want us to come back to this point, and that is, we can conclude with the video that I told you before,
Hmm.
and let's basically look at this video and the explanation Dr. Okoye gave
Hmm.
in order to help us understand the minds of our people. Because at the end of the day, like the Bible says, you cannot light up a candle and put it under the bed, right? It cannot be under your, under your table, and it can't shine. So all the knowledge and exposures, many of us, and I think maybe more we will, like the other time I was telling you, maybe we'll start something like a weekly review of activities where we spend an hour, 2 hours with one other or two other people, talk about these things. The whole point is that by constantly speaking on these issues, that we begin to create a mental shift, because that is very key.
I like it.
It's,
I like it. Let me tell you something. You're very correct. The thing is that the job is humongous. Nah, man, we did try you. See, it's just like the lizard that fell from the tree. If nobody wants to praise me, man, I did try. There's too much to talk about. Where will you start? You see, our people have forgotten something. Look, I'm a traditionalist. Man says, okay, you're a traditionalist to the core. You're a chief. You don't joke with tradition. You don't joke with our culture. Same thing with me. But our people are mixing this thing up. Our people think that you have to go and rub a noako for you to identify with our culture. No, now. The same palm PK oil, they have refined it and it has come to another level. It's just like you saying that you still have to get a town crier to go around the village before you can say, yes, we are doing it the traditional way. No, you can
exactly.
spread message by WhatsApp to everybody in the village too. You understand? So our people are mixing. We are not trying to move with development, advancement, technology. We see everything that is advanced as, oh, these people, they are forgetting the ways of our fathers. They are doing things wrongly. No, 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 no. With healthcare, why don't you look around and see that? Honestly speaking, most of us are taller on the average than the people
Yes.
that grew up in our village so many years ago. My children are growing taller than me already because me, I suffered from arrested development. If you don't know,
My brother, my daughter is 13. She's 13 and she's now as tall as me. I am 6'1".
you see,
I'm scared.
you see, because all the time when you were growing up, it's not that we were not eating well. Even with the food, there are we have to embrace advancement. It is not until you go and be drinking dogon yarrow for you to prove that I'm a natural. No, now it's not like that. We need to we need to we need to move. Okay, why are you driving a car? Why are you using a cell phone? And why are you using electricity? Why are
Chidi,
you? Yeah.
Chidi, let me tell you this. You see this? I put it
Mhm,
in my head now.
mhm,
This is my travel pouch. I
mhm.
bought this in Gambia.
Hey,
See this?
this is your juju. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever I travel, I was once, I'll tell you this story.
Uh-huh.
I was flying to Washington
Sure.
using London Heathrow.
That's really very nice. I don't mind one.
So on my way, I can get you one. On my way to boarding the plane, my passport was in it. See, you can open it up like this. What I have inside it is unzu. Is to tell you, because you mentioned I'm a traditionalist.
Yes, yes.
So for those of you who think, now let me, that is the unzu of my forefathers.
That's really nice.
So now, when I did this, I brought it out. So the woman looked at it and said, "What is this?" I said, "Don't touch it." The immigration lady. She said, "Why?" I said, "Because jokingly, but look at this. You see how mentality works."
Uh,
I said jokingly because if you touch it, if a woman touches it, the woman will stop menstruating. Uh-oh. The usual thing, if I say in Africa, they will say blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. But do you know the woman? Do you know the woman's response? I
Uh,
didn't expect. And she said, "Yes, I like it, so I'll stop taking my medications, my pills." I'm like, "What? You're taking your medications?" So she wanted to touch it, probably believed it. So it is the mind. Now, and here am I in Anambra here, when I walk around with this, with my telephone in it, a person I know very well wanting to greet me, coming close, I will be hearing, Jesus, blood of Jesus, just murmuring blood of Jesus, murmuring blood of Jesus. I'm freaking hell. This is just leather, black leather, done in a freaking shape. It's absolute nothing. So it means that the mind has been warped. The mind no longer appreciates arts, arts, artifacts. The mind no longer appreciates natural things. I remember when my dad was alive, our Ekpere na Abụ as in the Anglican, when the back is torn, they take it to one man that does a very, use the
yes.
same type
Yeah.
of leather
Yeah. Yeah.
and binds it together. The one I have in the village is still the same.
Sure.
Very well done. They
Yeah.
glue it, they do it properly. So today we no longer appreciate these things, and it's honestly it gives me concern. So before we round up, Chidi, let's
Okay. Let me. Now that you have said
resume.
this, now that you have said this thing, you
Mm,
remember? There was a time we did. There was a time we did the protest
mm,
in downtown Toronto here, and
mm.
that protest. If I find the video of that protest, I will. Uh-oh. What did
No,
I?
go ahead. I'm doing
Okay.
my Enzo now.
Okay.
How's this gonna be
So that that protest, that protest, I remember that there was a masquerade in that protest, and people. Why are you laughing?
No, masquerade. I already know where that is going. Mm,
So there was a masquerade
mm,
in that protest, and
mm.
people were shocked at seeing the masquerade, but the masquerade had to come out, to express his.
From the ant hole now.
Yes, now, people were
Mhm.
asking me, how did the masquerade come about? Where somebody even came and asked me later, who was wearing the mask? I'm like, what do you mean? No, 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 not
Nobody
mask.
was in the
No, no.
mask.
He said, who was wearing the costume? I said, which costume? Anyway, some people even said, but Chidi, that even you that is a pastor, you don't even believe that you had anything to do with masquerade. Here, I own my Roots Foundation. My Roots Foundation is a non-for-profit here. We are the ones, we own masquerades here. You will not believe it. Anytime they're doing an event, they have to, come to us.
His
Uh-huh.
business. You
Oh,
rent.
be there now. Let me show you the masquerade.
Oh,
I hope I hope I'm able
Chid is
to.
going to pay for advert. That's
No,
what we've been looking for. We need money. So if you want to buy masquerade, if you want to rent masquerade in Canada, contact Pastor Chidi.
no. How can you say
And
rent?
if you
How can
want
you
to
say
rent in
rent?
Nigeria,
How can you say rent? How can you say rent
so okay,
masquerade?
if you want to buy Mong, if you want
Uh-huh.
to
If
rent
you
in
want the
Nigeria, contact
masquerade,
this
mhm.
contact SM Muammar okay,
If you want the masquerade to come,
to perform.
we can arrange for the
Mm.
masquerade to come. So okay, oh, how do they do it? How am I?
No, you can share. You can share.
Oh, I can share.
Yes.
Okay, let me do
Just
that.
click on share, then
You are
open the
the
file.
baba for this stream yard. I'm not. In fact, you have been dragging me to this stream yard. I see you
No,
use it.
your
You use it
your
so
your one
professional.
not the work for
And
me.
I
It's
wow,
too.
see you. You don't enter another field. I wasn't even looking. Now wow, this bar don't change. Wait, let me show you my own. Share screen, window. Let me. Aha. This is the window I want to share. This one. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. So you want okay, you're sharing this, yes?
So you see the
You see?
masquerade there.
But now for this masquerade, the masquerade joint party, AAC. We are not going to kill somebody for this country. How can masquerade join party? Masquerade they do answers.
You know? So
Aluna,
so
aluna.
you never see where masquerade they pray.
Oh,
You never see where masquerade they pray. Eh?
so una no go kill me. See masquerade go do answers.
Wait, so
Answers protest.
wait. I'm looking for the masquerade. Well, so you didn't see see more of the
Oh
masquerade.
dear. Yeah.
Oh god. So, so and and so that's the masquerade. That's all I can say about the masquerade. Masquerade was there. I was there too, but
And
just that
and
I'm
you
not showing in the picture.
okay, and you people used yes, you people used was it hot drink or aromatic schnapp you used in pouring in the ant hole for the masquerade to come out?
I'm telling you, we had to use egg. We broke egg, and then the masquerade came out.
Okay. You made omelets. So masquerade came out. You've you've done well. You've done well.
And I was
So
there. I was there, but
This. Any person you see with a swollen leg, two things,
let me
leave
quickly
poison.
do this so that we round off this
go ahead.
thing,
Go
okay?
ahead.
So here I want everybody to pay attention. Many of you must have watched this, but I think it's Dr. Okoye reinforces what we are saying on a serious note. We can joke, we can laugh just to convey the message, but let's not lose sight of the seriousness of what we are talking about. Now, this thing is nothing, even the inzu that I have is nothing but, natural clay. So when you see them apply it in the eyes and you run away, I've seen one man went to the mall here saying, we are performing juju live on YouTube, and I laugh. But I think he's a troublemaker. That's why he can make such comments.
That's why I told you. He's just pulling your leg.
He obviously understood what was being, analyzed here. But again, that is not usual way. So let's again. After this evening, we hope that many people will liberate it from their way of thinking.
Have you seen people that have swollen legs like this? Any person you see with a swollen leg, two things, leave poison. Two things will be responsible majorly. It's either that the person has a heart-related problem or the kidney is not working.
Did you hear that? The only thing that can make your leg to be swollen in this manner is either you have a heart issue or a kidney issue. So, again, when people are confronted with this, before you start cutting the top of the leg, that this person, this happened, the other one gave you poison, you didn't do this, you didn't do the other one. Have you done medical checks? And my advice to people is, I understand that here in Nigeria that a lot of things are so warped, things are expensive, but please endeavor to go to teaching hospitals. Teaching hospitals, you have the best teaching hospitals. It's, they are cheap and affordable because majorly it's being funded by the federal government. So, and they have the best professors who are most times up to date with modern research. At least that they can look at what is happening before we start, shouting that you've been poisoned, you matched on poison, you've been given a neure and all the rest. Somebody from Okuzu told me that in the Okuzu market, that they now go to the market and buy a neure. And I'm like, how do you buy it? Honestly, and I promise us, the day I will visit Okuzu market, be rest assured I will record it. I will go and buy a neure and I will have a conversation with that individual, the people that sell it, because these are things that intrigue me because it's pure nonsense. Pure nonsense. Let's continue.
One is that the heart is not pumping blood as it's supposed to pump, or that the kidney is not excreting the water as it's supposed to excrete. So the water will get trapped in the body. Are you with me? And sometimes You may see people that their own may be a little different. This particular one is as a result of blockage of the lymphatic channel. And if you press this one, it doesn't go inside. This could be what is called filariasis.
Now, looking at this, Chidi, I
Yes.
saw on Facebook a woman they called a prophetess. She said she was praying for someone who had similar thing like this, and the thing was bandaged, and she was removing it, saying that no zota. And the man was, I can't remember the name of that woman, but I think somewhere in Owerri, but or somewhere in Imo State, and the man was really in agony, in pain. It appears the whole thing was not managed well. It was already smelly and all these things, and people still in this age believe that these things can just come like this, Most
Can
of
I
the things, the way you think is consuming alcohol now, most of these things, excessive things we do now in the 30s, in the 40s, even in the early 50s, we eventually take their toes.
you, you
However,
know
we live our lives today.
it's like when we're growing up. Anyway, I know you now, you're a township man. People like me, we went about without slippers. So bottle will cut your leg and then
Imehana, Okwana, Chidi, don't even go there. Okwane, and when we wound, we use onubu, squeeze onubu,
just squeeze a little
and
bit.
baradi alada, squeezing the juice there, and the wound will go. We'll put
So
sand, use sand, cover it, the top.
you remember, you know why the thing actually later developed into a very bad soil is because first and foremost, maybe you went on an illegal trip. So your parents are not even
Exactly.
supposed to know that you had the cut. So you won't tell anybody. You just use sand and plaster it, and the thing will get infected. But what I'm trying to say is that even though some of those things worked and it took time for the injury to heal, and that's why we are left with that very that strong mark that you have. Notice that these days you don't get that kind of mark now because there's
Exactly.
better
The kids of these
antibiotic.
days.
Exactly now. You know,
If you look at, if I go to play football and I remove my trouser, you look at my leg, the front of my leg are patchy patchy
I
everywhere.
know now.
Huh? Patchy patchy everywhere. And I look at my son's leg or my daughter's leg, I say, mama, who patch you? But
When
our own, to a point, my left leg was nearly amputated to a point
I
because
know,
the
I
patch,
know, I know.
the patch that happened in front. So whenever I see my dad, I will manage to walk normal. For him not to ask me, because the first question will be, "What happened to you?" Tell him, say,
Exactly.
"Where and what were you doing?" So
Exactly.
for you to say that you went to swimming, need them million, and
Where you were
the
not
and
supposed to
the
go.
oh God of Nazareth.
So the
Anyway,
point the
it's
point I was trying to make is this, that and that's, I guess that's the essence of this whole thing. For people to uh, just pull their minds a little bit, just pull your mind a little bit above the kind of low level thinking that we are thinking before, and just embrace new ways of doing things. In fact, what we're even asking you to do is just a little bit, because things have gone very, very far, very, very far. We have not even started talking about change your lifestyle, because the changing of the lifestyle will make sure that you don't even have to deal with some of these diseases and illnesses before we start thinking about taking care
before you
of
get to
it.
that point. Yes.
So it's just for us to change our mindset with the way we think and the way we do things.
Anyway, so, I mean that's a very good point you raised, because sometimes the lifestyle, like I know of a cousin who, they normally boast, yeah, I can drink 1 carton of Golden that time, and through they come for burial, you will drink 1 carton. That's 12 bottles, freaking 12
No, I
bottles,
know the volume.
and the kidney
Yeah,
is the liver, the processing all these things.
yeah.
I mean, week in week out, you're doing it. You finish shop.
Oh,
They finish shop around 6. They will go before they come home. It's around 10. If you look at their tummy, as if they are 15 months pregnant.
Mazes, okay.
You're not helping your kidney and liver.
Now that you're talking about that, there's one point I want to make, and I hope somebody to help somebody out there. This was the days of beer. You know, it was beer that was raining. Now, how many bottles get down? Now, it's past a certain number. It's no longer beer that is raining now. Now,
Yeah,
it is hard
it's wine and
liquor.
spirit.
Spirit, the
Spirit.
one that I'm so
They said it's a
whatever it
Vsalt
is,
or whatever.
my brother. Do you know what I don't understand is in those days, I was lucky. Should I say I was lucky or whatever? I never drank alcohol up to today. I don't even drink.
In those days, we take it in shot.
That's what I was
My
trying
dad
to
would take
say.
one shot,
That people
and
used to
after
drink,
taking one shot of the aromatic
you
schnapps,
know,
he will
you
cover it.
exactly and keep. And even the white people, even the we had our own version. We had kai kai, and there were all other local, and that one was even organic. That was natural. Kai kai was even better. But now you have this synthetic one that is done with all these chemicals, and people will be using a big cup like this to drink hard alcohol, 20 something percent. Now, do you know the worst part of
What is
it?
20-something percent? 20-something percent is for children now. We're talking about 45%.
Okay, my
If
brother, I
you
don't know.
bring matches near, the whole place will catch fire.
Now, see the most dangerous part is when they now started mixing it with this what they call it, Red Bull and all those energy drinks.
Woo-hoo.
Now, what it does that people didn't understand is this: those energy drinks, because when alcohol, as your body is trying to process alcohol, it takes a toll on your body, so you become weak, and at a point you can't even drink again. It kind of moderates your body and tells it to stop. With the energy drinks, your liver and your kidney, they already had enough, but the energy drink comes and masks all of that, fills you with caffeine, so much caffeine that your body is alert, and you can now take more alcohol. So your body now takes much more than it can handle, and it is killing your liver. But the energy drink is giving you a fake feeling that everything is okay. That is the next thing that is killing our young people all over
Even
the
that,
place.
I'm glad also, Chidi, that you brought this up. There is another one. I think some of them, they now sell them in, I think they say it's root or aloma beta,
And
whatever.
something, yes, and you
I,
put
I see them in many shops now around Nigeria. Some go from between 250 and 450. The other time I was coming from Sulere, I needed to go to Amuadofi. So, knowing Lagos,
Mhm.
there was traffic. The best way to move is via Okada. So I moved Okada to Ijesha, crossed over to the other side, take another Okada because if I had used taxi or used Uber in 2 hours, I probably wouldn't have gotten to my destination.
Sure,
But you know where you're going, you got to move.
sure. Now.
So the Okada driver stopped at one point, and the woman came out, gave her 2 bottles of that. Sorry, gave him 2 bottles of that, and he gave the woman 500. And out of interest, I started speaking to him. Until that point, I haven't spoken to him. And speaking to him, I understood he's actually Igbo, no Igbo. I asked him, "What do you do with this?" He said he's a drinker. He said, "What does he do?" He said, after a day's job that is good, he unties all the strain knives, and it is good in Zaza room. Now, what I'm saying is, without castigating anybody's business, is I do not know the content of that. But from the narration, the man told me that day, I do not think that thing is good for your health. At least, maybe not to be consumed on every sitting. Because I think we might be entering a dangerous, something that maybe in the nearest
Oh,
future, we will see that
trust
a
me,
lot of damages has been caused in our body systems and in
trust
our body
me.
mechanism.
If we don't stop, you're going to start seeing enlarged livers, enlarged kidneys, and then going to start seeing kidney failures, then looking for somebody. Yeah, I don't know. I
We're
just
looking for
hope,
somebody to blame.
I, or looking for somebody to give you liver or kidney. I'm hoping that our people will learn from even people that are in the advanced societies where you're seeing so many of these liver and kidney issues. It's also because people have access to these things. They have easy access to them. As this thing begins to, even our eating pattern has changed now. Now people want to belong. So they eat pizza, they eat burger. It's prevalent everywhere. If you talk about it now, people will say, because you're abroad, you're eating burger now, pizza. So what's wrong with us eating burger and pizza? Well, get ready for what comes with it because it's coming.
Well, we will keep the ways of the ancestors by drinking our palm wine and eating yam with roasted okpaka.
Yes. So even if you're
elephantiasis
drinking,
is a different
sorry,
ball game.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Somebody's leg will also swell if this other person is not eating well, like the case of Kwachiogo, or somebody that is chronically ill is not eating well because of lack of protein. It will now be the leg will start swollen. You may see some of them, the tummy will be swollen, filled up with water, what is called ascites. This thing can happen, and in most cases, you can have what is called it's easy fatigability.
Oh,
Somebody
oh
you
boy.
know, you see what I'm talking now is so practical. Somebody you know that used to be very, very active, very, very active. All of a sudden, you see that if this person climbs staircase, it will be party. He says, I say, what's going on? The heart is not performing well. The heart, when it is loaded, just like a generator that is old, when the turbocharger cannot power a big place, if he give you load, it will be smoking and telling you, I am dying. Majority of our people's heart is already gone. It has not. But they are managing it like that, but painfully. Among God's children, as it were, will be told it is an enemy is responsible. For how long can we continue to receive such a devilish life? Anyone that tells you don't go to hospital, if you go to hospital, you will die. Ask the person, is that devil in the hospital?
Chidi, how do you respond to this? Because this is a very serious point. That there are some things people will tell, don't go to us. This is not for medical. There is no medical explanation for this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. I was trying to see the problem we have, and it's because of a broken system. We were doing well at a time. We understood what was going on. Okay, let me try to create an analogy. When we're in the village, I still remember when in the village, pail bucket was not common. It was pots. Women went to the village, went to the stream with pots on their head. Some with udu, some with round, bigger things. Then we had something like pan that they did out of clay. My grandmother used to make those things. They cooked with a smaller pot. And I was just telling my wife the other day, I don't know how I remembered that they didn't have spoon. They had this eku.
Eku,
it was
eku.
shaped like an arrow. And they will put it inside. And when they are turning the soup, they will spin it. All those kind of things. But we graduated when we were still moving. When buckets came, they found it useful. Then people started changing to bucket. Then plastic came out. People went to rubber. I'm laying this as a foundation. We kept moving gently, but the same thing with medicine. When we're using traditional medicine, and then all of a sudden we found that there was an improvement, and then we started embracing it. But because of the broken system, when the hospitals were no longer doing what they were supposed to be doing, those days you will go to UNTH, if you just be praying that something should just bring you into UNTH. They had the best doctors. It was a specialist hospital. My brother, there came a time that if you ended up in UNTH, you be the people in UNTH will tell you, okay, Emmanuel Choka, your father survived. Take him out of this. So what do you blame the people when you go to hospital? All the drugs that were written for you are out of stock. All the doctors there, they have private clinics, so none of them will come and see you. So will you go to a place like that where you know, even in Nigeria right now, they keep saying it that going to hospital is a death trap. So people are not saying most times. I know there are people who will say, like you have a they used to say that a lot when you have a broken bone. No, don't go to the hospital. Oh. You go to the hospital, your leg will decay and they'll cut off your leg. Go to a local person, that the local people will do it better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Now,
But it's trial and error now.
that's what I'm
There is
saying.
no
Of
empirical
evidence
methodology of
of
making it work.
course, of course. That's what we are saying now. But the other one that concerns me more is that it is the state of the hospital that have brought people to a point where they will now tell you, oh boy, don't go to the hospital. Oh. If you go to the hospital, you will die. Do you know my father died at UNTH because he had he had this sugar problem. He was diabetic, and he I don't know what happened, and his sugar level shot up. I was talking with him that day, so I said, okay, now you people should go to UNTH because UNTH is in my village, Ozala. So I said, just go to UNTH, just let them get you to UNTH. So my brother took him to UNTH. I was still talking with them, my brother. By the night of that same day that I was talking with my father, who I was talking, was hearing what he was saying, he was no longer audible. You know when somebody is going into shock, he was trying to talk, he couldn't talk. A few hours later, the man was dead. Why? Because when he got to the hospital, the first thing they
They put
did,
drip.
drip,
They, right.
sugar, sugar-based drip. They didn't even ask him what was wrong with him. They didn't test for sugar level, just bam, smiley drip. So
We were
there's
lucky.
you
We
know,
were lucky. Exactly, almost the same issue. The woman I said at the beginning when I took to Newi, we got to the hospital. Now, what was actually happening was that she had, a diabetic attack where she went to a new doctor a day before. The new doctor prescribed a medication that brought down her sugar level drastically. That what she needed was some element of sugar, which if I knew while we were on the car, just to give her Fanta or Coke, that would have at least brought her up. But do you know, we almost lost her because the moment we got into the hospital, the same mistake was made.
see,
I don't know. It appears that if they don't put
drip.
drip, maybe they won't get money from you. I don't know if that is their thinking.
There was a
You
day.
understand? Because but
Sorry.
drip, giving you drip means you've lacked fluid. You are not being able to drink water. So you are dehydrated. So they are trying to hydrate you. I mean, man,
You know,
sometimes
I was I was trying to ask my wife the other day. I said, now wow, we came to Canada. Not one injection has touched my body. Nobody has given me injection. Nobody has given our kids injection. The only injection they got was this inoculation.
and vaccinations, yeah.
Vaccinations. Yeah. I said, but isn't this these people that are teaching us medicine? How come? Let me tell you one. I'll just say this quickly. When we were in Port Harcourt, my wife was pregnant with our first son, and we're there for a project. While we were on that project, we were talking. She was talking with our doctor in Canada, and the doctor said, "Okay, you need to go and do checkup. Now as abroad people, say they should take us to the best doctor in Port Harcourt." They say, "Oh, God, there's one doctor. This doctor, he treats the governor's wife. That doctor, all the ministers, all the commissioners, that's where they go." Say, okay, oh. Immediately, of course, now by the time you start talking, you can't hide. The guy assessed us and he knew, okay, this one meat. Do you know what this doctor did? Ah, We came to you the very first day for consultancy. Immediately he looked at my wife. He said, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. He didn't talk to us again. No. He bent down over his desk. He started writing. He pressed the bell. One nurse came in. He gave the nurse instruction. After all, they just kept talking. I was looking at them. Me and my wife were looking at them. And when the man finished, the man said, your wife needs to be admitted immediately. I said, why? He said, your wife needs to be admitted right now. She has to be on bed rest until she gives birth to this child. And
Ewo.
a matter of fact, like, well, the nurse said, okay, the nurse should bring some medicine. We should pay for it. You go and pay for this medicine. And I asked the guy, please, what drugs are these? The guy said, what did you ask? I said, what drugs are these? He says, are you challenging me? Who are you to ask me what drug? Are you a doctor? I said, I'm asking, no be my wife go take. I'm ask, tell me now, like you invent them, no be you no get name. Tell me. The guy was so adamant. They had prepared drip. The nurse was there with the drip, waiting to put it in my wife. I'm telling you. That's how we quarreled with the man and we left the place. So that's
No,
how
they will say you are poor. They will say poor man from Canada who
what
came
I
here and
what I have
is
seen the
blowing grammar.
what our people didn't know that they do in Nigeria. Let's just expose it here. Anytime they catch you like that and they put that drip, they will sedate you with a medicine that will make you just knock you out. So once you get to that bed, the first thing you do is you sleep. So
Exactly.
whether you say you want to go or you will just sleep. Not and the next time you catch yourself is the next day. And as you're recovering from that one, they will chook you another sleeping medicine. So
Well, depending if the doctor needs money, because there are some afterwards you can say, okay, we've made a small money now, so let's allow the drug to clear for your eyes so that you can go home. Man,
ah,
this I honestly pray that we will begin to see things differently. But let's quickly finish this.
yeah, sure.
No! That's why I say, if you know what I know today, honestly, if you know, you will be more furious to say we can't continue to allow our people to be dying and nobody saying anything. People will just want slump and die, sleep without waking up. As everybody say, no, don't talk, don't say anything. No, ignorance and darkness can prevail over light. Check out. Can you look at the life expectancy of other nations? Hong Kong, 85 years. Look at even Ghana, 64. All the Northern Africans average of 73 years. Nigerian life expectancy is 54 years. Did you know why COVID-19 killed more Americans, more Europeans? He said in Italy, it killed so many people. If you get to Italy, 22.8% of Italians are above 65 years. Above 65 years, meaning that they have older people. That's why COVID-19 killed most of them. Our own, it don't kill us because most of us are still young. The older ones are no
Nobody
more.
die now.
We can't continue like this. And somebody will be saying, no, it's an attack. If it's the demon and all those things we're praying, look at this. Look at the life expectancy. How can you compare this and the Nigerians?
Now, Chidi, do you think there are no demons if Hong Kong, that just survived Second World War, and sorry, Hong Kong, if Japan, sorry, and you look at Japan, you look at Hong Kong, you look at Tunisia on that, Tunisia in Africa, and look at Morocco in Africa. Even Ghana here has more 10 years ahead of us. Doesn't that tell us a story of where our problem is actually is?
So finally, that's why you need good leadership to direct the people. We don't have that good leadership. Either way you look at it, anywhere, whether be it inside Nigeria, whether it be it in the Biafra struggle or Dua Republic or anywhere, we just don't have good leadership because it's a good leader that looks and understands working with other like-minded people. They are the ones that will lead us out of this. You are asking, so where do we begin to solve the problem? We are already in the pit. We are already in this quagmire, as they will say it. We are we are bound. We are under this bondage already, and we need to be free of the shackles of this thing that we find ourselves in. Stark ignorance, and people just keep dying. In Nigeria, dying. No, it's not a big deal anymore. Not a big deal. If you want to see dying in Nigeria, you know how people die. You know how people. You see, it, kidnapping and killing people. It's no longer a big deal in It's no longer news now. If you say, "Did you hear where they kill somebody?" If someone say, "Where? Which one? Is it?" Someone say, "Is it the one that happened in Kano?" Say, "No, it's the one that happened in Akwa Ibom." Say, "No, okay, I thought it's the one that happened in Enugu." No, it's not the one that they killed 5 people. No, they killed 10 people. Oh, that 5 people. The other place is 15 people. I heard that one trailer killed 25 people. No, no, they say it's 60 people. And we don't even have the data. Bros, if we had good data collection in Nigeria, you will not believe it. You will not
But
believe
even
it.
if you do, what can you do? The people are too, the system has made it even almost impossible for people to even fight back.
That's the thing. That's the truth. People they just keep dying and see, something I really hope it happens. I really, really hope it happens. However, it will happen, let it happen. You know me, I don't believe in, maybe we even have disagreement there. I don't believe in this election or whatever system. I don't. This whole thing, I have checked, I have checked, I have checked. And this is not just like making it a cliche. There is no system you put in place now that will not be corrupted. This whole thing will have to be that's wiped, and you bring the draw go back to the drawing board from the beginning. I'm telling you, you can't patch this. You're a project manager. You're into construction. My brother, when the foundation, you have how many story building? 40-story building, and then you will discover that there's a major foundation problem, foundation issue. Okay, how do you fix it? How do you hang the whole building so that you can go and fix the foundation in the middle of the building? You can't. The building has to come down. That's the only thing I see, unfortunately.
Well, at the end of the day, I think the people will take their own blame, where the majority of the problem would also go to the government for the failure of governance. But again, there ought to also be individual responsibilities.
Are praying 247, doing all manner of spiritual exercise 247. The time has come for us to know. Now we tell you again. Why is it that sometimes they will tell you that their heart is enlarged? What could make the heart enlarged? Yes, the heart can enlarge. For anything to be bigger in size, it means that it contains more volume. Just like a gallon, if you fill the gallon, it will get bigger. So when there be excess fluid in the heart, as a result of maybe the heart is not pumping out water as the fluid or the blood as it's supposed, what will happen if the heart pumps out less blood because it's weak to pump out? When the blood that is not enough comes to the kidney will say, "Oh, it's like when they state of dehydration and we trigger a particular hormone that is called antidiuretic hormone." What it does is that it will reabsorb all the water back. So thinking that because the water is not enough, so more water will be accumulating in the heart, and also you see all those swelling also continue. So that's why you see they say that the heart is enlarged. But see, one of the things I want to show you, very, very striking. Some people will sleep, and when they wake up deep in the sleep, they will be panting, and it will be as if, honestly, that attack came at the depth in the night. You know why? See what happened? When somebody is standing up, the fluid in the body may go down the legs. All right? Like that one we see. You see the leg will just be pitching. If you touch it, it will go inside and come out. All right? Now, when this very fellow is sleeping and is lying down this way, okay? Now, see what happens here. That very fluid that used to be, go to the dependent area will now begin to flow inside the lungs because the person is lying flat. And because this fellow will be deep asleep, see why when they are waking up, they wake up as if it's an attack. I will tell you. Because at this point, the water is flowing into the lungs. This is supposed to trigger somebody, just for somebody who is drowning inside. So, hey, hey, hey. But because when you are sleeping, the respiration.
So, Chidi, do you have experience with? Do we have experience with people like the narrative you gave now? Depending when the fluid comes back, trying to kind of press the hearth, and somebody wakes up. There was an attack. People say there was an
Well,
attack.
all that, well, all that bullshit.
Sometimes we even blame it on the what's it called, the house lizard again,
There's
gecko.
something. War gecko.
They
What is
said the
that?
gecko was biting the tails.
Uh,
Sometimes it can appear not to be.
there's sometimes they tell you to there's something you put so that it will prevent it from happening. Those were kind of
Mm,
some fetish things that we had that happen. See,
superstition.
but yes, superstition, and you find this superstition in every culture. See, people should understand that the only reason why we are talking about our people is we can't fire cannot be burning in our house and we're busy chasing rats in another person's house. We are
Hmm.
focusing on our own people. These problems, like I see people commenting, oh, it's not only on Igbo land, it's not only in Igbo land, it happens elsewhere too. Yes, but why we are focusing on, they say charity starts at home. That's why we are talking to our people, talking to our Igbo people, our Biafran people, our Nigerian people, our friends and families, even our people scattered all over the diaspora. Those are the people that we are talking to. Because these things, you go in our churches, in that church, trust me, you have everybody from every part, and they all think alike. They all think alike. And this is happening in our communities. I can tell you. And the funny thing is, it happens if you see the level of people that talk about these things that we talk about, where people have beliefs. Hmm. Fine, let me not just go there. The
But
kind of
but
things
but
you
when
hear
you
from some people.
even when you hear it, even you and I know there are people that are also there are people who are also in a state where they should be able to help, but they are being held down as well by this same narrative. If not, well, what will make someone as educated as it is, having gone to the university and wants to become a governor and be dragged into a shrine by made with carved wood? I mean, I can only appreciate the art, the workmanship of the art, of the art, not the nonsense. Sorry, but I refer that to nonsense that is in there that
let,
has no other
let, let,
value.
let,
Because if
let-
you had any
no,
value,
let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, let me tell you the truth. As far as religion is concerned, and people don't understand this. People don't understand that I'm a born again Christian. I'm a pastor. I believe in the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. I practice it. But honestly speaking, as somebody who is also exposed, who is a
Mm,
historian, who loves the ways of our people, who feels a responsibility towards preserving our heritage, I also recognize and respect our people's religion as their own form of religion. That is
exactly.
their own form of religion. So, but the thing is, just like in the church, somebody will not come and tell me to go oil, drink. I say when I came abroad, I saw the quantity of olive oil. I said, "Oh my God, oh, if it's in Nigeria, this is a lot of money." He said, "People, somebody will just pour a whole olive oil. That just that go that imagine just use it to cook." So somebody will tell you, rub it in your eye, rub it, touch it in your head, then drink some. You know, that same way I will not approve of it in Christianity. That same way you will look inside our own traditional religion. And there are some things that are being done there that are fetish. People did it when they did not understand. So, but now when you understand, things change now. We everything changes. Even Christianity has changed. I remember those days that how dare you enter a church? How dare you enter a church with iPad? You enter a church and with iPad, you're not carrying a mighty Bible. They will say you have fallen by the way of the your Bible. They will say you have fallen by the way of the you're no longer born again. Imagine this one. It's only even there was a time when if you're not reading from King James, then you're not born again. But we have grown through all of that. Whereby now the same pastors that were accusing you, every pastor now walks up. If you don't carry iPad, I mean you're not stylish. Or for you to open your phone in church that time. But now they now understand that everybody has the app. You know, there was a time when they used to gauge your Christianity by the size of your Bible. You know that what they call that one? Something.
Study Bible.
That study
Study
Bible.
Bibles.
There's that particular one. You
And
know?
so and they gauge by the number of markings.
Eh,
If you don't mark it
oh
zigzag
my
everywhere.
God. Somebody will say, this my Bible is full of markings. I have put, and they are different colors. I know that time now, we used to go to church, we buy this Crayola marker, different colors. So blue is for statements for Jesus Christ. The other one, until we found out
But
that there's a Bible with
well,
the,
I think as they say in Igbo,
oh,
at that
well, yeah,
time,
yeah. That's what I,
it's
exactly.
it served its purpose.
So that's the
You
point I'm
know,
making.
Mm,
Point I'm making. It served its purpose, and like every other thing, we need to move on. We need to move on with time. That's the hope.
exactly. So I mean, it has been for the benefit of those wanting to finish that video. I'll quickly. It's just a couple of maybe 2 minutes or thereabouts. Then
Right.
the video is finished, so that we understand the entirety of what that video is talking about. The whole point that we've taken time to discuss this thing. And for those of you asking if this program is live, yes, the program is
Why?
live.
Why are they asking me? They don't.
But they see it on Facebook or YouTube
No,
that
no,
is
no,
live. They're
no, no,
still
no.
asking
See
if
the
it's
funny
live.
thing. They think that is your program. So if they ask you, you might not tell them the truth. They're telling me-
What?
they're asking me, Chidi, is this program?
Oh dear.
Every
Okay.
center in the brain
Let's
will be calm. It will not be able to trigger that effect. So while this person is sleeping, even when water is covering it, he may not feel it initially. All right. Secondly, if you're under anxiety, that's what is called catecholamine, a chemical messenger. It makes your heart to beat faster. But because when you are sleeping, those chemical messengers will not be released, and the heart will not be responsive as it were. So, as this person is sleeping, and the water will be accumulating, by the time the water is there, as if somebody sleeping in a house and water is the flood is covering the place, and he suddenly wake up, hey! And at that point he wakes up, he will not breathing fast. So we rush to the window to go and see whether we get fresh air. And by the time he stands for a while, about 5 minutes, that water can now come down towards the base of the lungs. So he can now feel better. If you ask me, sir, I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better now. That is what is called paradoxal nocturnal dyspnea. It's a very big grammar. All these are signs of heart failure. Sometimes the person may be coughing, and that very cough, productive of just putting that as if there are bubbles in it. All these things happen. It is no spirit that could be responsible. And do you know the good news? This thing can be treated. NICE Guideline UK in 2018 gave a practical treatment of it that has to do with the drugs, and also that has to do in a situation the drugs is not helping this other person. It can be in position to do what a cath lab can be in position to offer. It is called biventricular pacemaker. This pacemaker will help when it's connected to the heart. It will help the heart to be in position to be working, and this person can be productive again. This person can live for the children and be able to support also the economy of the nation. A lot of people are suffering this as I'm talking. But what is the issue? They can't go to hospital because they know what is responsible for their problem. Who is he? One person orchestrated to be an enemy. Can you imagine this? That is why we are saying enough of this untimely death. Enough of us recording a life expectancy of 54 years and somebody is saying you don't have to talk about it. People will sleep and will not wake up. People will walk away from what the activities are doing and the person will not come back again. And somebody says, so allow it. It is prophetic. Which kind of prophecy? Prophecy of God that the Bible says, I will satisfy you with long life. Anything contrary to that, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But he says, through knowledge shall the just one be delivered. The real prayer. Let this knowledge today deliver you from wherever is causing your problem. Share this to everyone you know, please.
Well done. Thank you very much, Dr. Okoye. Because again, listening to him, I like the way he keeps making it 10 minutes video, make it short, direct to the point, hit it. Because at the end of the day, this is what we need. This, we've spent 2 hours now talking about this thing. It's not that we don't have any better things to do. But if at the end of the day, in doing what we've done, we've been able to touch 1 or 2 lives, that someone would wake up tomorrow saying, okay, my problem is not coming from my village. I have a medical issue. I need to go to the specialist to go check it out, to treat myself. My problem is not from the village people. That's not the reason why I'm not having, breakthrough. Again, people ought to know, even our brothers and sisters who engage in business, there will be a time your business will no longer work as long as you are not innovating. There will be a time your business will no longer work. I remember one time I was trying to do a solar project. I mean, the guy, I didn't know him. I picked up his contact from Gigi. Now, could I have met him if he did not advertise in Gigi? You can deliver from your warehouse. But here, there are online platforms people now use in selling their. You watching me now, you might be in Onitsha. Nothing stops you from making your business in main market. Yet, let that your store still be your store. But let people also know that you exist. Be creative. And these are things that will make sure that you sustain your business, your line of business in the next couple of years. Remember when Olusegun Obasanjo, I've used this analogy many times. When Olusegun Obasanjo became the president, and that time, people used to go to Europe, especially Germany and Austria. Whenever they go in there, that time they take aduro, they take asylum, and the asylum pay them weekly. So people who come in, they just have so much money during the time of DMARC. So because of the so much money they have, they buy used cars and send them. That is like a business 90% of anyone that traveled within that time in the late 90s and early 2000s. That's like the type of business they did. And they were sending cars. But at some point, Obasanjo came in with a policy that said any car that is more than 8 years old was not longer allowed to come into Nigeria. And with such policy, what will happen? A lot of people were put out of business. Those in Germany can no longer buy this. That time I think there are these Toyota Tercel, Mitsubishi Colt, all these small V-boot padded. People were really bringing it, but what that thing led to people losing their line of livelihood. That's a government policy. But at that time, many people who did not understand what hit them, that this is as a result of government policy, some went to native doctors, some went to the pastors to say, what is happening? The business is going down. Of course, why wouldn't your business go down if your business is banned? The same thing today, you are in a place and you're doing Okada spare parts business. I have my cousins, I have friends in Nnewi. The moment it comes to a point that government bans Okada, bans Keke, sadly, There is no painting around it. Your business is hit and you're going to struggle. Now, that is nobody doing you. It is purely and only as a result of change in policy. Again, I blame the government because when they do policy somersault, they do not take into account the consequences of such policies or how to deal with the fallout. In many countries in Europe and elsewhere, in America, this COVID came, people were actually paid to stay home, not 100% of their salary, but even if it's 50%, you're earning 2,000 before. They say, okay, please, we want to contain this. Stay at home, we'll pay you 1,000 or we'll pay you 750. They say half bread is better than granite. But at least it means that someone is thinking and carrying people along. Many nations are now in debt because of that decision to keep people at home in order to contain the pandemic. But here we are. We are not helping ourselves. The government is not helping us to help ourselves. So at the end of the day, our problem becomes so compounded. That's the reason, again, I repeat, we keep talking about it, is it will be, it will be painful to see that we lose our parents, again, our moms, our dad, in the name that a pastor said this is happening. Honestly, those things are just absolute arrant nonsense. Nobody is after you. No village people is now, they are not after you. Oh, that you've started building there, you think they are after you. No, no one is after your finance. Listen, the day you want to build and your house is going to cost you 20 million, my brother, make money, get 25 million. You build that house. If your uncle brings juju, put into the foundation, you cover the foundation with cement, and the workers, they don't bloody care. Is it when you bring Togo people to come and work in Anambra? Who cares? Who did anything? They are working day and night. In 3 months, your house
It's
is
done.
is done. I remember when I was doing a project, after like 3 weeks, they are already doing decking. And somebody can, did they bring this house here? I said, well, it's one of those things. If you're smart, before he goes where he brings his juju to come, they've already finished the foundation. He's going to go and drop the juju on top of the foundation or on top of the decking. I mean, come on, let us, it's these things are just, I don't know how else to say, but I believe we've talked enough on this to say that people, we need to open our minds. When we are sick, let's go to hospital. When we are financially challenged, let us sit back, think what is going wrong. Not everything, not majority of the things that happen to us is being caused by anybody. In many cases, we need to think deep to ourselves. Do you have only one source of income? Again, if anything happens, you're messed. So you need to think. When people talk about multi-stream income, it's not only because you have job 9 to 5. You think Chidi doesn't have job, or you think I don't have any job that I do. But again, you try and be multitasking because that is at the end of the day, in the days of our youth, is when you're going to make the resources you're going to use when you're less able to do these things. So Chidi, I don't know your parting words.
My parting was just that people should just shine your eye well and know that the only thing that is constant is change. And
Chidi, is NEPA taking light in your place, or is it from my side? Try
no,
again.
you didn't hear me. Okay,
Okay, I
sorry.
can hear you now.
Okay, my mic went down. Sorry.
Okay.
So, but what the only thing I have to tell our people is to embrace, like I said, the only thing that is constant is change. Things don't remain the same. They need to embrace change and realize that things are moving very, very fast. They need to open their eyes to new ways of doing things. I mean, look around you. You didn't have a cell phone before. Now you have a cell phone. So the same way you accept that now there's a cell phone. You used to have touch. Those days you have one long touch with direct battery. So you have to remove and go and put in the sun and wait for instead of buying another battery, you're waiting for the sun to hit it. The sun will hit it, you put it, the thing is not coming on.
There is
You be
what
hitting it.
were the name of those batteries? One I
Yes,
think is Flash. The
there's
other one is
Flash,
Tiger.
there's Berek, there's Tiger. I think there was Hercules too, all those ones.
And we used to use the middle, the
To
black
do
thing that
Koso,
time in primary
to
school.
do Okoso.
No, not even the black thing. Apart from Okoso, we
Eh,
use the
that's what.
black thing. We grind it for shoe polish.
Oh boy, you know, and for doing the board. But guess what? Guess how God was protecting. Those were
That thing is actually
mercury.
poisonous.
Mercury.
You know that?
I know there's mercury now. And when I came here, they were telling us, you know that as sorry, I'm supposed to be closing. But when we go to do
No, go ahead.
when we go to do renovation in people's homes and the old homes, because the kind of insulation they were using is asbestos based.
Mm.
Once we open and we hit asbestos, you need to stop. Come and see the kind of panic like fire is burning. They'll say, "Oh my God, you have to call the inspector. They have to call 311. The city will
Cover
come."
your
They-
nose, this, that. Mm.
yes, you have to cover your nose. Then they have to bring a specialist to come and remove the asbestos. You know why I laugh? Because back in Nigeria, all the ceiling there is asbestos. I said,
Uh-huh.
if
And we
only these
sleep
people,
on them.
if only these people know where we're coming from. So what I'm trying to say is that life has moved and people need to don't take it because some people when you talk like this they don't want to they just get apprehensive, they tune off, then you're just yabbing them, why are you telling them this thing? No, 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 we need to move on with health. Look at what that man is saying, very very key things that he is saying. And the knowledge is the most interesting thing right now is that the knowledge is at your fingertips. Before you even go to see a doctor, if you can just get internet, you google, you will see the symptoms of what you're suffering before you even begin to go and see a doctor. So the knowledge is
Mm.
there, it is only us. Our people say um um the person that stuck himself out of a boat, do not say that the boat has left them and go. Ọchụlụ ya
Actually,
n'ụgbọ.
onwe ya na-egbu amasị n'ụgbọelu here.
Every time I talk like this, people always want to die laughing. I'm just
Mm.
cracking a joke out of it. But you can't, if you die out of ignorance now, you have yourself to blame because the information is all over the place. So I'm hoping that
Mm.
with people like you doing this kind of programs, I enjoyed myself here. And as we continue to do this work, we hope that people will listen and they will take advantage of it and they will change and maximize that opportunity. That's my last
Thank you
speech.
very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you very
brother.
much, Judy. And that's a very fine place to leave it. And I will say thank you everyone for joining us. And once more, for many of you who haven't subscribed to Worship Media, please head over to Worship Media and click the subscribe button. And again, my YouTube algorithm tells me that over 75% of you that keep returning, you are not yet clicked that subscribe button.
Can,
Please
can I say
hit
something?
and
Can I say
smash it.
something there? Can I
Yes,
say
go
something?
ahead.
My algorithm tells me that too. But you know why? Because when people see subscribe in other places, they have to pay money and they get daily things from those people. YouTube subscription is free. You don't pay anything. So when they see that, they say, no, nah, man, I know this, that. And then they click that subscribe so that they will go and take money from me. No,
Do you
I'll
think
just
so,
watch and go.
or do you think so, or they do it out of jealous? If I subscribe to Chidi now, Chidi will blow.
Abba, you don't want me to blow. How much is the money plan from YouTube?
You never know. So I'm just saying, we're just
Uh,
trying to make sense
no,
out of.
but the thing is that whether you subscribe or you don't subscribe, the people that will subscribe will still subscribe, and the person will still blow. So better be part of the blowing. Thank you so much, my brother.
Exactly. So
Thank
thank you very much, Judy. Thank you once more for joining me. It has been a pleasure
you. Nice.
speaking to you. Now I
Nice.
know it's evening in Canada.
Yeah,
You know,
sure, sure.
I believe let's try and do more of, I was thinking I will speak to Dr. Damages and see
Yeah,
where we can do maybe weekly analysis and see what we, because obviously there is a lot happening that we probably need to do more collabs like this and come up with something. It's been a pleasure, and I appreciate that. Again, once more, if you haven't subscribed to Chidi, head on to that place. Chidi, I give you the opportunity to also, I think you have 2 channels, right?
I have more than two, sir. But if they just subscribe to Worship Media, that's okay. I have Worship Media. I have a Igbo channel, and then some other ones. This one, Worship Media, the Igbo channel. Okay, I still have immigration channel that you can subscribe if you want to travel to Canada. If you want, I do. I just people keep asking you questions, so I just do videos and put it there. So if you want to learn how to come to Canada, things, schooling, and all that, you can go to Canada Immigration channel. But best just subscribe to Worship Media. It's okay there.
Okay. So again, you've had it. Go head on to Worship Media, or is the other channel called Worship Media Igbo?
Yes,
Or what
Worship
is it
Media
called?
Igbo channel. Worship Media Igbo
Okay,
channel.
Worship Media Igbo channel. So also go to Worship Media Igbo channel,
You
and
see,
if you want my, sorry.
you see this guy. You see him saying, "I'm subscribed to Chidi." One man went to my. I told he's the troublemaker. He knows all these things that he's doing. Don't just mind him. He's here. He's my channel
Uh,
too.
and anyway, again, head on to Chidi, subscribe to his Igbo channel, and many of you also head on to my own personal channel. My own. This is not in Njenje Media. This is me, Maazị Ezeoka. My channel is Maazị Ezeoka.
Okay.
Can you beat that?
Wow, that's awesome.
Honestly, on
That's
that,
awesome.
you people have not been showing me so much love on that one too, because I haven't even hit 100,000. No, 1,000. I'm saying 100,000. I haven't even hit 1,000 on that one. Okay, so help me out on that one to
You
get
know what
up
we're
to
going
1,000.
to do? You know what we're going to do? Let's tell you what we're going to do.
Hmm.
One of these days, we just have to find a way to do a program, and all we will do, we must just force people to go and subscribe. Because what? We should
No,
be
maybe
at
we can use
100.
a spiritual vehicle, go to their houses
Go
and
and
drag them out.
exactly. I need to consult one of those. You need to send what do you call it?
Okay, you know what? Let me
Send
threaten
sheep.
them now. So
Send
see
sheep.
this here.
Mm.
If you don't go to my channel and subscribe, this thing will come to your house at
Mhm.
night.
And
So
meanwhile,
when you are sleeping, it will be doing willy willy to you.
you
Willy willy
see,
willy willy willy.
when I said it before, you did not agree. Now you have brought, I believe that truly what they told me that you are the one that is tying my destiny. You went and tied my
Oh, okay.
destiny in YouTube. So that this thing I saw
Yeah.
on your neck now, it has proven what the prophet said.
Okay. Maybe your destiny is in the pouch.
You tied my destiny, my YouTube destiny in that pouch. I will
Oh dear.
every evil that they die in the Jesus name. Die.
One man went to the moon. Don't try this with Ijesha voodoo.
Ah,
This is real Igbo one. We'll knock
Abeg,
you.
let's go, abeg.
This is Biafran
Let's
Juju.
go,
Don't
let's
try
go,
us.
let's go,
Thank you,
let's go.
everyone. It's been fun this evening. Thank you, Chidi.
All right, bye
So I say
bye.
good night, everyone. Good
Okay.
night. Oh, Chidi, thank you very much for joining.
Thank
It's
you.
been
Yes.